This is Chief Education Officer Bill Olsen, and welcome to another school district update. I'm filming this about a week to 2 weeks ahead of the deliberative session. That's the important assembly of voters in many New England communities where you determine what town and school services look like, and you determine overall the direction of Merrimack. And that's very important. I'm not here today to suggest how you vote, but what I do want to do is provide you with some information on how we have improved the school district over the last 2 to 3 years and our commitment to continue to improve it and earn your confidence. Over the last couple of years, I think we've made significant strides in improving what we do and how we do it in the school district. My job and the job of the administration and the school board and our budget committee in Merrimack is to provide the best services possible based on the priorities and the assessment data that we gather to try to understand what our students' needs are and how we best meet them, to make sure that we maximize their development potential. And that's very important. I also have a background in economics. And so my first priority is to meet the needs of students at all levels. But my second very important priority is to provide you, the taxpayers, the residents of Merrimack, with the best return on your invested dollars possible. The school department in any community across this entire nation is the largest employer of people. It's the most costly of all town departments. And that's because we have thousands of customers, our students. Each customer has a unique, special need and mindset, interests, passions, temperaments, you name it. So the challenge is to try and meet those needs, and that's what we're trying to do. And I'd like to take a couple of minutes just to tell you how we've been improving the school district and how we are committed to continuing that improvement. We've spent significant amounts of time and resources on improving literacy programs, math programs, and science programs in particular at all levels. In fact, so many initiatives, we've written them down, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to refer to them on the sheet I have in front of me. We've implemented the Heggerty Phonemic Awareness curriculum at our lower elementary schools. Phonics is extraordinarily important, and we have done everything to strengthen the structured nature of our literacy programs. We've also implemented the Foundations Structured Literacy Program at all of our lower grade levels. Different programs allowing a little bit different approach to reading and literacy at lower elementary grades. We've implemented a new math program, Envisions, or we've updated our Envisions program to ensure it aligns with our state and national standards. We've updated the middle school mathematics program, Big Ideas, to ensure that it aligns with state and national standards. We've implemented mystery science for grades K through 5, and I have heard extraordinarily positive things about mystery science. I've heard those from mostly our teachers who have told me how excited our students are in working in that science program and that curriculum, and how excited our staff is to be working with the teachers, with our students, in mystery science. It's been a great, great program. We've updated our physical science and biology texts at Merrimack High School. We don't want our students having texts that go back 10, 15 years, when we all know the rapid pace of change of information that we experience all around us every day, every month, every year. We have to remain current, or we're doing a great disservice to your children. We brought in a new assessment program and progress monitoring, iReady, which has been a well-accepted and well-established program for a number of years that we are now implementing and providing parents with much more relevant and timely data about the progress that their child is making. We'll be implementing the PSATs at the 9th and 10th grade, and that's in an effort now to understand where our students are in reading, writing, and mathematics in particular. Because we don't have satisfactory assessment instruments at the high school level at the present time. And so that's why we're implementing the PSATs. When I first started here, we had no early release days. I've implemented now with our leadership team, with the support of our school board and the budget committee, and with your support at the deliberative session over the last couple of years, 5 early release days. Important days where our professionals get together and our paraprofessionals get together for learning and talking and discussing through the nuances of our curriculum, instructional strategies, the needs of students. All of those are extraordinarily important. There is not an organization in the private sector that doesn't provide professional development for their employees, and we're no different. We're more important, though, because our customers are students, and the greatest customers in the world. And so it's our obligation to make sure that our teachers have the skills, have the materials, have the supplies, have the opportunities for engagement to talk about the needs of our students. That's an extraordinarily important part of education. It's a component that some school systems have eliminated, and I think that's a big mistake, because our teachers always need to be trained in our new curriculum and our instructional strategies. We have an outstanding staff in Merrimack, outstanding. But we need to give them the tools, the materials, the supplies, the curriculum programs. We need to provide them with professional development to allow them to do the greatest possible job in working with our students, your children. And that's a commitment that we will continue to make in this school district. So I want to take a minute to tell you about the improvements to the curriculum, because that has to be updated and reviewed on a regular basis. It cannot become stale, and it should not. And it's our obligation to make sure that we're presenting your students with the most relevant, timely information as possible. I want to talk to you also about a program that was not in existence 2.5 years ago, and at this point in time is amazingly successful. When I first started here, in my conversations with our central office staff and high school staff, I asked what we were doing for those students for whom a traditional seat-oriented high school education was really not their thing. And the answer that I received was, well, we don't have any program to address the needs of those students. So I met with the high school staff with the support, once again, of the school board, our budget committee in town, and all of you. We have an outstanding alternative graduation pathways program that's being run by Holly Hall, a former teacher at the high school who is now the director of that program. Let me tell you the significance of that program. Harley is presently working with 16 Merrimack High School students. 12 of those students will be graduating this year because of this program that we implemented, that you helped us implement with your support. 12 of those 16 students who are eligible to graduate will graduate this year because of their involvement in this program. It's a little bit less traditional in nature, much more individualized in nature. In some cases, it involves extended learning opportunities, which I'll talk about in a moment, which you've also supported. The importance is for those 12 individuals with a high school diploma, they will now have a better chance and better earnings in life. I can't tell you how pleased and how proud I am of those students for participating in the program. Some of them dropped out of school previously over the last 2 to 3 years, and we've brought them back so that they can get their high school diploma. And Holly has worked with them continuously. We now have a program that's recognized by the New Hampshire Department of Education as a highly skilled alternative pathways program for students. 3 years ago, there was nothing. And I am so pleased and so proud to be able to say that we all worked together to put together the Pathways program. Holly has been absolutely the perfect person to work on that program. He understands the students. He knows their needs. He has developed a large number of extended learning opportunities for students. There are currently 45 extended learning opportunities that Holly has developed that provide students with alternative means of learning other than just sitting in a seat reading something from a textbook. Most recently, there was a great ELO that's still in progress that is in great cooperation with the Merrimack Police Department. It's the Teen Academy, Merrimack Police Department Teen Academy. We've had ELOs, extended learning opportunities, in the pharmaceutical industry, ELOs in creative writing, in teaching internships. Some of our students working with younger students, and those younger students are riveted. Their attention is riveted to the older students. And so there are many, many more extended learning opportunities that Holly has developed in collaboration with the staff and with outside agencies and with businesses in the community. I can't tell you how pleased and how proud we are that this has been developed into a top-rate alternative program for those students who otherwise would be dropping out or have dropped out of Merrimack High School. Once again, your support has allowed it to happen. Over the last couple of years, we've also updated our student handbooks. When I first started here, our handbooks had not been updated in about 6 to 8 years. Those are important documents, rules of the road, that need to be updated every single year to incorporate any national or federal, that is, or state statutory requirements. They have to be updated consistently. We've updated those. We've updated our policies and our job descriptions to reflect modern-day educational standards and modern-day expectations of our staff, no matter what jobs those staff members have in our school district. We've redrafted our crisis plan. We've implemented school safety training based on what is called the ALICE program of school safety. That's extraordinarily important. However, once again, we know that we can do everything in the world to provide the safest conditions possible, but one never knows if something might happen. But we want to try to deter that to the best of our abilities. And I owe you that. As the Chief Educational Officer, we all in this school district owe you that. Okay? Our outstanding finance director, Matt Chevino, has been extraordinarily active in acquiring grant monies, hundreds of thousands of dollars of grant monies to improve school security. And I thank Matt for that. Our outstanding Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, Amy Doyle, is responsible for all of these curriculum improvements that I have mentioned just a few minutes ago. Unrelenting meetings with our staff members, unrelenting commitment to improving the curriculum and instructional strategies that are presented to our students, to your children, okay? We have provided, very importantly, reading intervention services at the lower elementary grades. That was supported by the school board, budget committee, and you. So if you're understanding now the importance that you play in this whole process, in the quality of education, in the return on investment that you get from this school district, that's what this is all about. Your support, school board support, the budget committee support, has been critical in allowing us to make leaps and bounds in terms of positive progress in this school system. This is not just a job for all of us. This is a passion, and we take that passion very, very seriously. When we introduced reading interventionists at the lower elementary grades, we did so because the only alternative from the regular education classroom for students that were struggling was referral for special education services. Not all students have cognitive disabilities or physical disabilities that require special education services. Some students just need some additional practice in a particular skill area. That's where the reading interventionists come into being. We implemented those as an important opportunity for students to have that extra practice, to have that extra work, to have that extra intervention in a smaller group setting, to help remediate those areas in which they were struggling. There's an academic benefit to that, but let me explain to you the financial benefit to that also. And here's where sometimes by spending a little bit of money, you save a lot of money. When a child goes from a general education setting to a special education setting, the cost to educate that pupil almost doubles. And so for those students who don't have a cognitive disability that just requires some additional drill and practice, if you want to call it that, the interventionists have filled that role. Extraordinarily important. I think intervention services is what makes the difference between a good school district and a great school district. So we're looking forward to continuing those interventionists and services. We're looking forward to continuing with our commitment to improving our curriculum and the professional development of our staff. You know, the last thing might sound somewhat insignificant, but it's not. It's important. Last year we re-implemented band camp. We had over 50 students participating in the band camp. That had not been approved in this district for whatever reason for 10 or 15 years. You know, I was in the band at Chelmsford High School many years ago. Some of you have been in high school, your high school bands or college bands. There's a lot of work to it. And oftentimes, students in band work every bit as difficult and strenuously as our athletes do. So I met with Bunny Serenita last year, and I asked about band camp. And she said, well, we haven't had one. We haven't had one in 10 or 15 years because it hasn't been approved. And I said, well, it's going to be approved now because we want our students, our music students, and I would say this about our theater arts students also, those are areas that are extraordinarily important to the development of our students. So we proudly implemented the band camp. We're looking very much forward to it again this summer. And I mention that because it's a symbol of our commitment to look at every area of this school district and give our students their money's worth, but give you, the taxpayers, your money's worth. You've believed in us and you've supported us, and I thank you for that. We've put together a budget, and I'm not here to tell you how to vote on our budget. You make that decision. What I am saying is I hope you've seen the difference in the school district in the last couple of years as a result of all of us, not me. I always say I'll take 1/600th of the credit, and that's all, because everyone matters. Every single employee in our district, our school board, which has been extraordinarily supportive, the budget committee, which has been extraordinarily supportive, and all of you through the deliberative session have been extraordinarily supportive. And for that, we're very thankful. If at any time you want to contact me and understand the who, what, when, where, and why in this school system, why we do certain things, how we do certain things, how we came up with the idea that we might need to provide certain services, please let me know. I'll always be glad to either talk with you by phone, or I prefer to have you come on in and meet with you in person. And I would say, if you come on in, if you've got some students in the school district, bring them in with you. I'd love to talk with them and find out from them what their experience has been in our school district also. Well, I won't belabor the point about talking about what we've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years, but it's once again bringing it back to two priorities for myself, our administration, our staff, school board, budget committee, and you. It's about meeting the needs of every student in our district, every student, understanding what those needs are and addressing them. And it's also about a return on investment. What are you receiving for the tax dollars that you invest in this community? Are you happy with it, or are you unhappy with it? And we're trying to give you reasons, great reason, to be happy about what you've invested in our district. I thank you for your support. Look forward to seeing you at the deliberative session, and look forward to seeing you next time on our program. This is Bill Olsen. Thanks for watching.